coming up on AC 24/7. After months of hearings, testimony and video, we have new indication on when the January 6 committee's work will wrap up. Plus, Kanye West is turning his social media pause into a business opportunity. We'll tell you what he plans to do next. And we'll tell you how the government is helping make hearing aids more accessible and affordable. Plus, we'll tell you where you can find them. Welcome to AC 24/7. I'm Stephen Walker. The end is near for the January 6 committee. A member of the committee says they are set to finish their work by the end of December, but the investigation is not done yet. The Advocate Channel's Amy Kayne has more.
All select committees, including this one, are created for the life of that Congress.
The January 6th House panel is winding down, but it's not done yet.
We're in a position in the very near future to call the witnesses from the Secret Service back in.
Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren says the committee wants to hear from former Secret Service Assistant Director Tony Ornato. Then White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified. He told her about then-President Donald Trump's behavior on January 6th. Her secondhand account is that Trump's protectors told him not to go to the Capitol, and he lunged at one of them in anger. Meanwhile, here's new insight about what lawmakers discussed that day.
There was some suggestion that we do it, that we reconvene the Congress off-site. Unanimously, all of us believe that was not what we were going to do.
Now, almost 2 years later, some people still baselessly deny the 2020 presidential election results.
There's plenty of evidence. We had 740,000 ballots with no chain of custody.
That's not true, according to numerous judges, election officials, and politicians of both parties. But as the midterms approach,
will you accept the results of your election in November?
I'm going to win the election, and I will accept that result.
If you lose, will you accept that?
I'm going to win the election, and I will accept that result.
I'm Amy Kayne reporting.
The House Select Committee has voted unanimously to subpoena former President Trump. If he refuses, the panel could send the Justice Department a criminal referral of contempt. Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker now admits that a woman used a $700 check written by him to fund an abortion. In an interview with NBC, Walker admitted to writing the check but claimed he was unaware the check would be used for that purpose. During the interview, Walker was shown a receipt from the medical facility where the procedure was done, as well as a copy of the check. Walker has held an anti-abortion stance as part of his political platform. The Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, is becoming one of the more popular and prominent faces within the Democratic Party. Buttigieg is reportedly one of the most requested persons on the campaign trail right now. President Joe Biden is still the top draw on the road. When he's not available, Buttigieg is seen as the second best, even more so than Vice President Kamala Harris. Rapper Kanye West is branching out beyond music and fashion. He wants to own his own social media platform. The rapper is planning to purchase the popular conservative social media platform Parler. On Monday, the parent company made an announcement saying West has made, quote, a groundbreaking move into the free speech space. Parler was founded by the husband of political commentator Candace Owens. Meanwhile, Kanye is now facing a lawsuit over comments about George Floyd on the popular podcast Drink Champs. Kanye suggested that Floyd died from fentanyl overdose, saying the officer's knee was not on Floyd's neck, which was proven false during the trial. The medical examiner determined Floyd's cause of death was cardiopulmonary arrest that occurred during neck compression. You might have a couple of old cell phones sitting around your house, but none of them are likely to be worth as much as an unopened first-generation iPhone. Take a look at this 2007 iPhone sold at auction for more than $39,000. That's 65 times the original price. According to LCG Auctions, bidding was slow until the final day of the auction. The original 8GB model originally sold for $599. It had 2-megapixel camera and a 3.5-inch screen. The current base model iPhone 14 starts at $800 with a 12-megapixel camera or a 48-megapixel camera for the more expensive Pro. Walmart is now offering shoppers the chance to buy hearing aids over the counter. And now the question is, will other retailers follow? The Advocate Channel's Mandy Gaither has all you need to know.
It's a long-awaited rule change now in effect. For the first time, people with mild to moderate hearing loss can get devices to help directly from a store or online, making them more affordable.
The average cost of a pair of hearing aids in the past was about $4,500. I mean, so put that perspective, that means for the average American, a pair of hearing aids could be your third largest material purchase life after a house and a car.
Now, you don't have to visit a hearing health professional and don't have to have a custom fitting, bringing down the cost. But health experts say there are some things to keep in mind. First, get your hearing tested before heading to a store. That will let you know your hearing levels and help determine whether your hearing loss is caused by a condition that may not require a hearing aid like wax buildup. Next, know what you're buying. Experts say a return policy is crucial. The FDA rule says the policy has to be plainly stated on the packaging, but extended return policies are up to the stores. Check the product's warranty, whether it covers maintenance and repairs, and look for the words OTC or over-the-counter hearing aid on the package. If the product doesn't say that, it's not an FDA-regulated device.
By the market opening up now, there's a lot of opportunity for companies to meet consumers where they are rather than where we want them to be, which is what the model previously dictated.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Experts urge anyone with questions to get in touch with an audiologist for guidance. While over-the-counter hearing aids are a great option for those with mild to moderate hearing loss, for others with more severe hearing loss, prescription hearing aids are still the only option. People under the age of 18 will also need a prescription. We have a sneak peek at the first look of Season 3 of Netflix's hit show Love is Blind. The Advocate Channel's David Daniel has more.
It's been one of the hardest things dating as an adult. Am I really gonna meet my wife in the grocery store?
I've done a lot of this life alone, and I just don't want to do it alone anymore.
The pods are open for Season 3 of Love is Blind as more singles looking for love try to find it without looking.
This is crazy that I felt comfortable enough saying that story. I can't believe I just did.
You're 25? Are you serious?
How are you here? How did I meet you in here?
Only after a couple is engaged do they see each other for the first time. Host Nick and Vanessa Lachey say the show reminds them a bit of their own courtship.
When we first started dating, it was, pre-dating app and all. I mean, we just literally used a lot of talking on the phone, long distance. She was in New York, I was in LA. So
For almost a year.
The idea of this kind of raw communication, getting to know someone from the ground up was kind of how we built our relationship.
Once they do see each other and everyone else on the show, will feelings change?
I haven't connected the person in the pod with the person I'm looking at.
There are so many unanswered questions.
The next phase, the physical element, because that is an element in a relationship.
The person that I love doesn't love me.
Tell me how to stay, because I'm out.
Cheers to the rest of our lives. Is love truly blind?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
National Black Poetry Day's importance for generations to come and generations of the past. One of the most famous poets at the moment, Amanda Gorman, has set the tone when she spoke during President Biden's inauguration, leaving a mark on some listeners. Black Poetry Day falls on October 17th to honour the first published black poet in the US, Jupiter Hammond. Hammond was born a slave in 1711 and is considered to be the father of African American literature. Thank you for joining us for AC 24/7. For content that advocates for you, go to advocatechannel.com, follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Stephen Walker.